So you understand, right? Like how to create a snapshot, how snapshot will work in the backend, and yeah, how to schedule the snapshots, how to restore the data from snapshot, right? Okay, cool. Now today let's talk about remaining functionalities of the snapshot, and we'll talk about few other topics which are related to snapshots, like flex clone and all. Okay, so snapshot, there is a functionality called auto delete, which we are going to talk about it in a little later. This is a kind of a separate topic. Okay, we'll talk about that little later. Next thing is compute reclaimable. Okay, so this compute reclaimable option will give us the idea about the snapshot size. Like it will give you information like how much space we are going to gain if we delete that snapshot, because snapshots also will be will resides on the same volume, right? So if you delete the snapshot, you'll gain some free space, right, on volume. So like that, it will show you just how much space we are going to get if we delete any snapshot. Okay, let me show you that wall one. For example, if I delete snap2, how much space I'm going to get? See, these many bytes I'll get if I delete this snap2. Okay. Yeah. One more thing. Yesterday I have mentioned it, but I just want to show you clearly now. For example, snap2 is a old snapshot, right? Which I have created yesterday. After snap2, these all snapshots got created. Okay. So now if I restore uh, my snapshot with snap2 on top of this volume, what will happen? The data, like the volume, will go back to the state, the same state, which I mean, where it is where it was when I created the snapshot, right? That is what I told you. Now let's see that. What I just want to show you that now I'll restore the volume with this snapshot. Not only data, whatever the snapshots that got created after that snapshot, we are going to lose them as well. Because when I created snap2, all these snapshots, they were not there, right? Yeah. You understand, right? What I'm saying? Snapshot restore, v server name, volume name, snapshot name, snap. That's okay. I'm saying yes to all the warnings. If you run snapshot show, volume snapshot show, v server name, volume name. See, I don't see the snapshots after snap2, because as I used this snapshot to restore, so whatever the snapshots that got created after the snapshot, we are going to lose them as well. So yeah, so you have to be very careful whenever you are doing entire volume level restore. If it is a normal file or folder restore, just accessing the snapshots and copying and pasting, you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, when you are performing entire volume level restore, so yeah, you have to be careful, because yeah, not only data, we are going to lose the snapshots as well. Protection. Okay. Okay. What? Next thing is create. We have already discussed about it, right? We can create a snapshot manually. Next thing is delete. By using this, we can delete the snapshot. Normally, snapshots will be deleted automatically according to the schedule and retention what we have set in the snapshot policy. Okay, but whatever the snapshots that created by us manually, they'll be not deleted according to the schedule. They'll be there forever. You have to delete them manually. Okay, so let me delete these two snapshots. Okay, snap one, I want to delete it. Let's delete both together. I don't want to. I'll put star here so that it will delete both of them at a time. See, okay, this is the way you can delete the snapshots. Now let me check. See, I don't have any snapshot with snap name now. Snapshot delete is done. Modify. I think modify. There is nothing to modify on snapshot level. Okay, let's pick this. Yeah. Only thing is we can set the snap mirror label. That's ignore that. We'll talk about that when we are discussing snap mirror. Comment, you know that, right? Comment is a normal thing, okay? Which you can put some comment, okay? Please don't delete this snapshot, something like that. Okay, if you have created any snapshot manually and you have to make sure that someone should not delete it, you can put a comment. We have created this snapshot for a purpose like that. Okay, just a normal comment. So even some people might see the comment, some people might not see the comment, they might delete it, right? So we have a option called expiry time. Okay, expiry time. So what it will do, for example, I have created this snapshot uh, purposefully, okay, and I don't want someone to delete the snapshot. Even I don't want schedule also to delete the snapshot. In that scenario, what I can do, I can set some expiry time. Okay, so no one will be able to delete that snapshot until it reaches the expiry time. Let me show you that. Okay, so here I need to mention the date. What is the date today? 19, right? 19. Oh, sorry, month actually. Yeah, 11, 19, 2021. What is the time now? 3:47 system time I'm looking at. Okay, 3:47. I'll set it to 3:50. Okay, I'll set it to. Not only us, even on tap also will be not able to delete the snapshot uh, with the help of our schedule and all. See, it will throw an error. It will fail. Normally, it will not take this much longer to delete. See, command failed. Snapshot copy the snapshot name of volume on vol1 has not expired or is locked. Okay, use the snapshot show hyphen fields owner expiry time command to view the expiry and lock status. Okay, so if you set this expiry time until it reaches the time, no one will be able to delete the snapshot. So that is the way to protect the snapshot from accidental deletion. Okay, any question? Now let's reach the timeline. Okay, let it reach the timeline. After that, we can delete it. Okay, meanwhile, let's explore another option. I'll come back to this option again. My mind is not working today. I slept at 2 a.m. and I woke up at 6 a.m.
Netapp issues, Naveen.
Not Netapp, it's Amazon AWS issue. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, I work on cloud as well, Azure, AWS.
Yeah, yeah, nice, nice.
Okay, and next option is modify is done. Modify snap lock time. Snap lock is a separate topic which we are going to cover in advanced topics. Let's ignore that. Partial file restore. They gave this option. Not sure that they have provided this option. Even I don't know what this will do. Let me check and get back to you. I thought of exploring it, but maybe they have provided an option to uh, restore a particular file. Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll check and I'll get back to you on that. Okay. Next policy, right? You know that we can create a snapshot policy and schedule the snapshot creations. We have already, yeah, practiced it. Next, rename. Rename is pretty simple. You can rename the snapshot. For example, I just want to rename one of my snapshot. You can use a new name. That's it. Okay. And if you run show command with a new name, see, next. Uh, Restore, we have already discussed about it. Like if you want to perform entire volume level restore, then you need to go with this command. Next, restore file. So restore file is not what you think. Normally, whenever the people look at this command, they thought that it is to, by using this command, we can restore a single file or folder from volume. No, actually, this belongs to SAN protocols. Like if you want to restore something related to SAN, you need to use this command. Normally, in SAN, we will be not able to present volumes or Q trees. Okay, there is another component called LUN. So if you want to perform restore at LUN level, then you need to use this command. Don't worry, we are going to talk about this. We'll perform it when we are talking about the SAN. I'll show you. Okay, just remind me. That's it. Okay, and show command again. It will show you the snapshots. How many snapshots we have and all. It will show us. Okay. Next thing is show delta. Show delta is a very important command. So what it will do, it will compare two snapshots and it will show us the data difference between the two snapshots. Like that means, let me show you that. Now I have a snapshot called snap one and I have another snapshot called this one. Now if I run that command, what it will do, it will show me that data changes happened between these two snapshots. This much of data changed between these two snapshots. And what is the time period between those two snapshots? It is 2 days, 3 hours, 40 minutes. Okay, like that. It will show us the data, the amount of data changes and the time span between the two snapshots. Okay, yeah, that's it, guys. Any questions so far on snapshot? If you are good, then we'll proceed with the other topic.
Good, good, Naveen.
Cool. Let's go. So first we'll talk about flex clone. After that, we'll talk about snap, auto delete, and other functionalities, leftover functionalities on snapshot. Flex clone. We'll call it as a flexible clone. So this is a cloning solution, a clone solution in Netapp to create a duplicate volume. Okay. I'll give you a scenario. When in what scenario we will use these flex clones and all. Okay. Example, let's assume that I have a volume. Okay. My volume name is vol1. Okay. This is a production volume, and there is an application running on top of this volume. Let's assume that it is a SAP application, SAP, and the version is, let's assume I am not a SAP expert. I'm just giving a random version, SAP 6.0. Okay, let's assume that. Now they have a data that related to SAP application on top of this volume. Okay, let's assume that the data is A, B, C, D. Okay. So now it is connected to a server. They are utilizing this volume in one of the server. What they want to do now, they got a new version in SAP 7.0. They want to try it, but no one will do it directly on production, right? Before implementing on production, we have to test it somewhere. Now SAP team reached out to us and they're asking for a solution. Like they want to test their new version, but they don't want to try it on production. Even nobody even will not allow them to try it on production, because we don't know, right, how the new version reacts. There might be a lot of bugs and all. Yeah, that is not a standard procedure. So what we are going to do, we'll tell them that we will give them a clone. Okay, so what we'll tell them, we are going to create a clone for this production volume. That means it contains exact data as a production volume. Clone 1 is a test environment. This contains again SAP 6.0. So what they're going to do, and it contains the same data, like whatever the data we have on top of production volume, everything will be available on destination as well. Okay, so they can install it on their normally they'll what they'll do, they'll connect this mm, clone to their test server, and they'll test it. They'll test their new version SAP 7.0 by installing it on top of this clone, so that it will not impact the production environment. They'll do all their tests. If the tests are successful, then they'll come to production. They'll install the new version on production. Okay, this is the purpose of the clone. But okay, a clone creation is pretty simple. A single command, with a single command you can create a clone to any volume. Okay, but you need to know what will happen in the background, how clone will work. Clone creation is very simple, I'm saying. Okay, single command, that's it. Now I'll tell you what will happen in the background, how it will work. Okay, so normally first what you need to do, in order to create a clone, you need to create a snapshot. Actually, you don't need to create a snapshot. If you want, you can use the existing scheduled snapshots as well, but best practice is to create a snapshot. Create a manual snapshot. Uh, I'll give you two reasons why you need to do that. First reason is if you use a scheduled snapshot, we don't know. I mean, it might got created like a few minutes back or few hours back. Okay, so if you use the snapshot, okay, whatever the data you have on what on this volume, when that snapshot got created, only that data will be copied to the clone. Whatever the data you copied, my client copied after the snapshot creation, that will be not copied to the clone. That means you'll be not having latest data. That is the one thing. Another thing is these scheduled snapshots will be deleted according to the snapshot policy, right? Snapshot policy. But as we are using this snapshot to create a clone, it will be in logged state. That means it will not allow snapshot policy to delete the snapshot. So that will disturb the entire cycle of the snapshot policy deletion process. Okay, that is the another reason. So these are the two reasons I'll not recommend. Not only me, Netapp will not recommend you to use the scheduled snapshot. What is the harm in creating a new snapshot, right? You can create a new snapshot manually whenever you want. There are advantages. It will be having a latest data, and it will not disturb the snapshot retention policy retention and deletion, right? So yeah. So what I'm going to do now, C, and it contains D here, and you know that we'll be having pointers towards A, B. Okay, A image will be having pointer towards A. Same way, B will be having pointer towards B. Sorry. Okay, and C will be having pointer towards C. Okay, like this. You know that, and we have created this clone with reference of this snapshot. That means when you created this clone, whatever the data you have on top of this volume, only that data will be copied to the clone. Like whatever data after that, you are copying some additional data and you are deleting and modifying on production volume. Whatever the changes you made on this volume, those will be not applicable to clone. Okay. So even clone also initially it will be not created with any data. Okay. Clone also will contain only images, and these images will be having pointers towards the snapshot. I might have used a different color. Okay, let's use now. This is how my flex clone will be having pointers towards the snapshot, not directly to the original volume. Okay. Like this. Okay. This is how. So as I told you, my clone is having only images. It does not contain the original data. Okay. For example, let's assume that my production volume size is 1000 GB, 1000 GB. That means 1 TB, close to 1 TB. So, but my flex clone size will be in MBs only. It will not create like a 1000 GB volume, 1000 GB clone. It will create it with MBs only, because my clone does not contain the original data. It contains only images of the my production volume data. So whenever my client is trying to access this data and modifying this data, what my clone will send a request to snapshot stating that, okay, my client is accessing this particular data blocks and he wants to modify that. So it will send a request to snapshot. Then snapshot, what it will do? Snapshot will send a request to production volume with the same information. Then what production volume will do? Production volume will send those blocks to snapshot. Okay, whatever the client is modifying, right, will send those blocks to snapshot, and snapshot will store the blocks in within it, and it will send those blocks to clone again. So when my clone and production volume are in relationship with each other with the help of snapshot, most of the time my clone contains images only. But whatever the data blocks that are getting modified, only those blocks will be it will get the actual data for those blocks only. For example, let's assume that as part of this SAP 7.0 installation, my client is modifying A to A1 and he is deleting B. Let's assume that on clone, he has to delete B. So what it will do, deletion, that's fine. Okay, deletion, that's fine. And modifications, as this don't have a original data, what it will do, it will send a request to snapshot, and snapshot will send a request to SAP, sorry, production volume, and production volume will copy the entire A data to snapshot, and snapshot will copy the entire A data to my clone. Now clone size will be increased, because instead of A image, now we have A data, original data, right, the same way. And here we have deleted B. That means there is nothing, no need to do anything, because whatever you changes, whatever the changes you made on clone, those will be not impact production volume. So you don't need to worry about deletion. Okay, like that. This is how the clone will work when they are in relationship. Okay, but you can do, you can use the clone in a different way as well. What you can do, you can split the relation between the clone. Now my clone and production volume, these are in relationship with each other, right? These are in relationship with each other, right? But you can split the relation. You can split the relation between these two. That means my clone will not contain images. When you do the split, what it will do, all the data, whatever the data I have on my production volume, all the data will be copied to the clone. Instead of images, entire data will be copied to the clone as well. Okay, so in this scenario, my clone does not need, there is no need to come to production volume, right, every time to get the data. Already it has the data, so it will act like a independent volume. Okay, you can use, you can do it in both the ways. But when you will follow what procedure, I'll tell you. Like for example, if you have enough space to host a full clone in aggregate, then I'll recommend you to use a split mechanism. Just split the, break the relation between production and clone, and use the clone. That is the best way. I'll recommend you to do that if you have enough space. But if you don't have enough space, you cannot afford to host another 1000 GB volume on your aggregate, then let them be in relation. So what clone will do? Clone will not gain the full size. Whatever the data blocks that are modifying, only it will gain that particular size, right? So it will be like maybe 100 GB or 200 GB, whatever, based on the data modifications. Okay. Yeah. But why I am not recommending you to keep them in relation? Why I am recommending you to delete the relation between volume and clone? Because so whenever my client is requesting or making some changes on clone is requesting the data from the snapshot, right? And snapshot is requesting the data from production volume, and production volume is copying the data to the snapshot, and snapshot is copying the data to the clone. During this procedure, the snapshot size will keep on growing. Okay. And where I have the snapshot, I have this snapshot on my production volume, right? So as my production, as the snapshot on production volume is keep on growing, it might impact the capacity on my production volume, right? There are chances. So that is the reason um, I'll recommend you to split the clone if you have enough space on your aggregate. One more reason, uh, you will see a little performance impact on clone. Okay. Because whenever you are accessing something on clone, it has to go all the way to snapshot and the snap from with the help of snapshot to production volume and get the data, then only the modifications are happening, right? But if you split the clone, it contains the original data, so it clone uh, need not to go to snapshot and production volume for the data modifications. Okay, that's the reason, another reason. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, no, Naveen.
Cool. Nobody will ask, frankly speaking, the people already working on Netapp also, most of them don't know how clone will work. Okay, yeah, better to know these things, then only you'll gain the good troubleshooting knowledge. For example, you're facing some issues with the clone, then if you know the what is happening in the background, you can find the issue easily, right? But I'll show you, this is not that complex, very easy to create a clone. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a snapshot manually. Volume snapshot, create vserver name svm1, volume name vol1, snapshot name clone snap. Okay. Now volume snapshot show vserver name volume name. See, I've created a snapshot called clone snap. Now I'll use this snapshot to create my clone, right? So volume clone create vserver name clone name. I'm just using simple name called clone1. What is the clone type? There are two types of clones actually, read write or dp. Dp means read only clone, rw means read write clone. If you select dp, then you can read the data, that's it. You'll be not able to modify anything on that clone. Okay. Next thing is parent volume. To which volume you are creating a clone. I'm creating it for vol1. Okay. Next, parent vserver. If you want, you can create a clone on a different vserver as well. Yeah, actually earlier we don't have this option. They have included it in recent ONTAP versions only. Same, I'm creating it on same svm. Now it will ask me junction blah blah and all, junction path. You can set a junction path here only while creating the clone itself, or you can mount it later, just like how you are doing the volume. Now you need to mention the parent snapshot. In parent snapshot, which snapshot you want to use, you need to mention that snapshot name. That's it. It will create the clone. Pretty simple, right? Now check volume clone show. If you run this command, see it's showing me. This is my vserver name. This is the clone name. This is the parent vserver, parent volume name, which snapshot we have used, what is the state of the clone, what is the type of the clone. Is it a read write clone or DP? That means read only clone. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a share on top of this clone one. Share name also I'm keeping the same, clone one. Now let me try to access that share. Now what is the data we have in this share one? We have this much of data, right? Now let me try to access the clone. Whatever the data we have on share one, I mean wall one, we must see all the data there as well on clone as well, because that is the functionality of clone, right? Whatever the data you have on production volume, it should display all the data in clone as well. See, I have the data, but is this the original data? No, because still my clone is in relationship with production volume. So whatever the data we are seeing here, all these are just images only. Okay. But if you run volume show command, our clone also will show you, display you like a normal volume, and it will display you with the full size. But in actually, it will not consume the full size. Okay, it will display you like it consumed full size, but it will not consume the full size. Okay. Now see, all these are images. Like when I try to access some data and modify it, for example, I opened a file called Naveen folder and I'm writing something, then only what it will do in the backend, the clone will go to the snapshot and the snapshot will go to the production volume and get the data from there. Okay. Now only this particular document blocks, the blocks related to this document will be copied from source to, I mean, production volume to clone volume. And let me see the data on production volume. Now I made changes to naveen.txt. Will those changes replicated, I mean, affect on production volume? No. Whatever the changes you made on clone, those will not impact the production volume. Okay. Now let me split the clone. Mm, yeah, how to, I'll show you how to split the clone. Volume clone, split start. Oh, okay, let me ready the full command, show command first, so that I can show you quickly. So this is the okay, sorry, volume clone split status. This is the show command. Why I am running this command? So that immediately after starting the split, I can show you the split status. Okay, split start. What is the vserver name? What is the clone name that you want to split? Yeah, is the command. Okay, now let me show you split show. Let me run split show. It completed very quickly because the data that we have hosted on production volume is very small, right? That is the reason it got completed very quickly. Yeah. If you run volume clone show, see, I'm not able to see the clone here. Now the clone one is not a clone anymore. It became independent volume. That means it does not contain the images. It contains the original data. But will you be able to notice any difference from user side? No, right? Even if it contains the images or even if contains the original data, it doesn't matter to user. From user end, it will display like actual data only, right? Yeah. Any questions? There are few options. For example, the split is in process. Now, if you can estimate like how long it will take to split the clone. Okay. And you can stop the splitting as well. Like for example, you have initiated the clone split, but later you realized that the splitting mm, you want to stop the split process because you don't have enough space on aggregate. So you can stop the clone split, but whatever the blocks that are already moved to clone will be not able to regain them back. But whatever the remaining things, remaining data are there, right? That will continue as images only. Okay. But in our case, our clone is already completed, so we can't revert it back. Okay. For example, A, B, it already copied to the clone, original data. C and D yet to copy. When I hit the stop, it will stop immediately. And A, B already clone contains the original data, but CD it will be having only images and it will get the data from parent volume whenever it is required. Okay. Okay. Any questions on clone? Okay. Once you are done with your testing, what you can do, just normally uh, offline the clone. I mean, normal, it is not clone anymore. Okay. Just offline it and delete it. That's it. I mean, you need to delete the share first. Okay. I'm deleting it here directly, but normally you need to delete the share first. But automatically share also will be deleted. But yeah, better to do it in a proper way. See, I don't see the clone share. Yeah, when you delete or offline the volume, share also will be deleted automatically. But better to follow the steps. As this is a lab, I'm playing with it, but in real time, do it properly. Okay. If you don't have any questions, then let's move. Now we'll talk about snap auto delete and wall auto size. So before talking about snap auto delete, I just want to talk about wall auto size. We'll call it as wall auto size or wall auto grow. Okay. So what is the purpose of wall auto size or wall auto grow? So for example, let's assume that I have a volume wall one and my volume size is 100 GB. Let's assume that. Now it is almost 80% full. Okay, 85% full, 80% full. Let's assume that. That means 80 GB already occupied with the data. Only 20% of space left. And I'm going on vacation for 1 week. So, but as this volume is at 80%, normally what I can do, I can increase it right away. But I'm not sure that my client will utilize the space and it will cross 80 GB above or not. I'm not sure. So why do I need to increase it unnecessarily, right? So what I'm going to do, I can configure an option called wall auto size. So what I can do, I can set like whenever my volume reaches 95%, okay, add some space. Actually, in older OnTap versions, uh, we have a chance to select how much space it has to add, but now OnTap will calculate it based on the volume size, and it will it will only add the amount of space, yeah, it required. Like for example, let's assume that it is adding 10 GB whenever my volume reaches 95%. Like that, again it reached now my volume total size is 110 GB, right? Again my volume reached 95% utilization. Again it will add 10 GB. Like that, it will keep on adding 10 GB. But if you don't set any limit, it will keep on adding and it might impact my aggregate space, right? And it will impact the remaining volumes also on top of that aggregate, which will be a very big impact. uh, Try now you are trying to save impact on one volume, which caused a big impact of remaining volumes as well. Okay, so to avoid that, we can set a limitation of maximum increase it up to 200 GB. So when my volume full size reached 200 GB, now again it reached 95% utilization, which is a 180 GB or 190 GB. It will not grow anymore. That is the maximum limit I have configured during the volume auto size. Okay, like that you can increase it. Same way you can decrease it as well. Like there is an option called shrink. By using that option, whenever my volume utilization reaches 70% or below, or 75% or below, then decrease the volume size. Now I'm increasing it with a 10 GB, something like that, right? The same way it will keep on decreasing the volume. So it will automatically grow and it will automatically shrink, decrease. Okay, that is how volume auto size will work. So you don't need to worry about your volume space if you configure this option. Only thing is you have to make sure that you have enough space on your aggregate to accommodate the space, and don't forget to set the maximum limit as well. Okay, any questions theoretically? If you are good, I'll show you practically how to configure it. Okay, let's jump in. So volume auto size, show server name and it is not giving me an option to pick volume. Oh, show command is not there. Okay, yeah, it is not show volume auto size, server name and volume name. That's it. Hit enter. See, it is saying that volume auto size is currently off for the volume whole one. Now what we can do, volume auto size, server name, volume name. Now you need to set options. So what is the maximum size? For example, let's assume that my volume size is 10 GB. Now I think it is 10 GB only. You can set it up to 20 GB. That is the maximum limit. Okay. So whenever my now it will ask me for the grow threshold percent. Like at what percent you want me to trigger this auto size? Like when my volume used space reaches 95%, then only trigger it. That is what I'm setting. If you want, you can set it to 85 also. You can set it to 75. It's up to you. But yeah, I'm setting it 95 at 95. And you can set it at 99 also. Okay. Next. So whenever your volume reaches 95%, it will add some space to your volume. Next. Shrink threshold percent. I told you, right? It will decrease also automatically. So when it has to run the shrink, when my volume utilization reaches to 80%, run the shrink. That is what I am saying. So what is the minimum value? Now, if my client started cleaning up the data on volume, if shrink keep on running, then it might go to 0 as well, right? That is the reason, as how we have set the maximum size to increase, right? The same way we need to set the minimum size to decrease. So in the minimum size, I'll recommend you to put your actual volume size, which is 10 GB, so that it will not go below 10 GB. Whenever it reaches 10 GB, it will stop there. Even my volume utilization below 70% or below 50% also, it will not run the shrink. Okay. Now it will ask you, you need to set the mode actually. In mode, we have three. One is off, so it will disable the auto size. One is grow. If you set grow, it will only perform grow. It will not perform shrink. If you set both grow and shrink, it will perform both grow. It will increase as well as it will decrease based on the utilization. Okay, that's it. Now let me show you what we have configured so far. See, it is showing now volume auto size is currently on for the volume vol1. The volume is set to grow to a maximum of 20 GB when the volume used space is above 95%. The volume is set to shrink to maximum of 10 GB when the volume used space is below 80%. The volume auto size for volume vol1 is currently in mode grow shrink. Okay, this is how we can configure the volume auto size. Pretty simple. Any questions?
No,
Yeah,
Naveen, from me.
cool. Thank you. Now let's talk about the auto size. Sorry, snap auto delete. Like how we have configured volume auto size, the same way we can save the space on our volume by enabling the snap auto delete. So what it will do, according to our configurations, it will delete the snapshots on top of our volume so that our volume will gain free space whenever it is full. Okay, now let me show you that. But uh, snapshot delete. Yeah, so snap auto delete is a little lengthy procedure. Let me show you. Okay, auto delete show vserver name volume name. Now see, I don't have anything. That means snap auto delete is not configured. Now what you need to do, we need to create it. App snapshot auto delete modify vserver name volume name. So we need to set it to true. That means we are enabling it. Not only setting it to just true, you need to configure the things. Like there are a lot of things you need to configure. The first thing is commitment. Okay, under commitment option, we'll get three things again: try, disrupt, destroy. Okay, so let's see. So first thing we need to configure is commit. So under commit, as I told you, we have three options. One is try. What try will do? Try will snapshots not logged by any application are deleted. That means only free snapshots will be deleted. Only free snapshots. Disrupt. Disrupt means snapshots logged by data protection utilities such as snap mirror, volume move can be deleted. If such a log is detected during the data transfer, the transfer will be aborted. Snapshots also, which are not logged by any data functionalities, are deleted. So what it will do, it will delete both logged snapshots and not logged snapshots. Okay, that means it will don't care about the snapshots if they are logged or unlocked. That means, for example, earlier we have worked on flex clone, right? And we have used a snapshot to create a flex clone. So whenever the still the clone is in relationship with my volume, that particular snapshot will be in logged state. That means um, we cannot delete it normally. That is the reason it will be in logged state. We will be not able to delete it manually. It will show, it will throw an error as a snapshot is logged. You cannot delete it, something like that. if you use a try option here, then it will ignore that snapshot as it is logged. It will delete only free snapshots. But if you use disrupt, it don't care if it is a logged or unlocked, it will delete all the snapshots. And we have another option called destroy. Destroy, this will delete only logged snapshots. Okay, so better not to use disrupt or destroy, better to use a try. I'll recommend you to use a try only. Okay, because it will not disturb other functionalities which are using snapshot like flex clone, and so many technologies will use snapshots. That's why. Next thing, okay, defer delete. So, okay, you said that go ahead and delete the snapshot. So, which snapshot you want to delete? Do you want to delete scheduled snapshots, or do you want to delete manually created snapshots? I mean, the created by us, or do you want to delete a snapshot with a particular name format like that? And we have an option called none. That means don't care. I don't care. Delete everything like that. Don't worry if they are scheduled or user created or with some particular name. Delete everything. That is what. Oh, so this selecting this option, it's up to you. Okay, I'm selecting just schedule for just we have to select something. That's why. Okay. Next thing, delete order. Before that, let me select one more thing. Defer delete prefix. For example, if you select a prefix option here, then you need to select that prefix. That means need to mention that name here. So it will look for the name in the all snapshots. If it finds that name, it will delete those snapshots only. But as we have not selected prefix here, let's yeah, we can ignore that option. Okay. Now delete order. Yeah. So we have two types in delete order. One is the newest first, one is the oldest first. So based on that your selection, it will start deleting the snapshots in order. Like if you select oldest first, then it will start deleting the snapshot from old snapshots. If you select newest first, it will start deleting from the recent snapshots. Normally, no one will use the newest first, right? Because it will delete the latest snapshot, right? So better to use oldest first every time. Defer delete prefix, let's leave it. We don't need that. Now, target free space. Okay, we mentioned to delete the snapshot, but we need to set some stop point, right? When it has to stop deleting snapshots. So I can tell that like whenever my um, target free space reaches 15%, that means, for example, let's assume that my snapshot deletion started when my volume utilization reached 95%. Now it started deleting the snapshots and I'm gaining the free space. Now my volume utilization is at 85. That means I have 15% of free space. Now it has to stop it. That is what it is asking. When you want me to stop? When you have a, I'm saying that when my volume has a 15% of free space, then stop deleting the snapshots. That is what I'm saying. Like you can set whatever you want. Like you can set to whatever percentage you want. Like if you want, if 10% is enough for you, let's set 10%. Next thing. Next thing is trigger. So when I have to trigger, when I have to trigger this snap auto delete. Okay, you said that 15%. Um, whenever my volume reaches 95%, you want me to trigger. So where do I need to check that? So is it entire volume space 95%, or is it your snap reserve 95%, or is it your space reserve, which is a data reserve 95%? Normally, okay, I'll tell you the recommendation. When you want to enable, okay, snap auto delete functionality, I'll recommend you to set snap reserve to 0. You know that, right? If you set to snap preserve 0 also, you can create snapshots. Snapshots will be created. Not a problem. Only thing is they don't have a dedicated space to create. They'll mingle with data. That's not a problem. It will not create any complexity. But why I'm asking you to set it to 0? Because, for example, I have a volume where I have configured 10%. Okay, let's assume that this is a 100 GB volume. Okay, and I have 90 GB for data and 10 GB for snapshots. As it is, I have configured 10%, right? Sorry, 10 GB. Right? So now my data space is full, almost 90 GB. So total my entire volume utilization is 95%. Let's assume that. Now it started deleting the snapshots. So when it started deleting the snapshots, you'll be gaining space inside the snap reserve. Can my data utilize the snap reserve? No, right? My data reserve will be not able to utilize the snap reserve. So that is the reason better to set snap reserve to 0 if you want to implement snap auto delete. Most of the organizations will follow that only. But if my snapshot is utilizing data reserve, then if when it deleted the snapshots, yeah, we'll get some free space. Yeah. So better to set snap reserve to 0. So we'll be not having data reserve, space reserve and snap reserve. Everything will be individual volume, entire volume, act like a single volume. So we can store data as well as snapshots in the same space, right? So here I'll select volume because I'm not dividing it with the snap reserve, space reserve like that. I don't have any snaps reserve, space reserve. Everything is a volume, and when my volume reaches 95%, trigger it. That is what I'm saying. Okay. Next, destroy list. For example, and in commitment, if you select destroy here, then you need to select that list, um, like the snapshots which are logged belongs to which application you want to delete. Okay, normally nobody will select a destroy or disrupt. I've never seen that, so ignore that option. Normally you can mention here, okay, snapshots related to flex clone, delete them. Snapshots related to snap mirror, delete them. Like that you can mention here. Okay, as we don't require that option. Yeah, that's it. We don't. This is the way we can configure snap auto delete. Okay, now why it is not showing? Is there any other command to check that? I've configured it, but it is still showing empty. Maybe some bug used to show earlier. Oh, it is showing here. Yeah. See? Yeah. Yeah. See? Why it is still showing false? Yeah. See? I have enabled the snap auto delete, right? And it is showing like whatever settings I have configured so far: 15% target free space, oldest was the scheduled snapshots only, trigger at volume level. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions?
Question center.
Hello? Someone unmuted and but okay. Now the thing is, now I have configured snap auto delete and wall auto says both, right? These two mechanisms are designed for protecting the volume from reaching 100%, right? Now, which one has to run first? That's up to you. You need to decide that which one has to run first. Uh, First, it needs to run auto delete, snap auto delete, or wall auto size. Okay, how we can set that is volume modify vserver name, volume name, and there is an option called try first something. They keep on changing this option name. Mm, yeah, space management try first. Earlier it was try first, now they changed to space management try first. Okay, space management try first. So if you select wall grow first here, then it will run volume auto size first. When according to volume auto size, it will keep on running that, but we have set a maximum limit there, right? To 200 GB or something, some space. When it reaches that maximum space, then it will run the snap auto delete as a second option. The same way, if you select the snap auto delete first, so it will start deleting the snapshots according to the settings that we configured. When it don't find any snapshots according to our settings, what it will do, it will go for the second option as a volume auto size. Okay, so you cannot configure only a single option. Okay, you need to, I mean, you can configure, but it is not recommended. So better to configure both of them together to achieve the maximum protection for the volume from reaching to 100%. Okay, now I'm setting it to just volume group. Like, it is your decision to select which one you need. Mostly people will select volume grow only, because if you delete the snapshot, you'll lose the data protection, right? Yeah. So yeah, but if you don't have a space on aggregate, then you can select the snap delete. But only thing is you'll lose the protection by deleting the snapshots. Any questions? Monday I'll be starting mm, networking concepts. We'll start networking concepts, which are very, very important. And most of the people don't know these things, the people who are working on. Okay. And I forgot to show you that, right? Deleting, did I deleted the snapshot? No, right? The expiry one. Snapshot show. No, I have not deleted it. It is still there. Now I can delete it because it already way beyond the expiry time. Snapshot delete. I don't see snap on now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. Do let me know if you have any questions, or else, yeah, let's reconnect on Monday.
Sure, Navin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a nice